Grammy Award-winning artist, legend, innovator, Mr. Chainz himself. I'm so honored to be in conversation. Join me in bringing him on up to the stage.
For the present and a gift rapper. I don't feel good, but my trigger happy. But the stripper happy. But the wizard happy. And I wish I would like a kitchen cat. And me and you are cut from a different fabric.
All right, y'all. Okay. Woo. How are you?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing? How you doing?
We are doing amazing. Man, I am really excited for this conversation. I want to start off because we talked about a lot of your accolades getting you on out here, but we got a new one to add, author.
Yes.
You have your book coming, The Voice in My Head is God.
Yes.
That is a heck of a title.
Yes, it is.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the title and choosing the title and the name of the book?
Well, when I chose the title for my book, I was working on a book, and I was doing my best not to be compared to any other artist. A lot of artists like to do autobiographies that are sometimes trauma porn and deal with who struggled the most. And, you know, we've all have a story to tell. We all come from, you know, different trying times and backgrounds. But when I was working on this book, I had some stories and I had some ideas, and I've always had a voice in my head. And my mom used to tell me to ask me who the hell I'm talking to. And when I was doing research for the book, I was looking at some of the mail that my pop used to write me from prison. Mm-hmm. And in every envelope, it would say, God is love, God is love, God is love. And I really didn't, I just ignored it for a long time. And then one day I took the ears out and I put an equal sign and I said, God equals love, because if it ain't no love, it ain't no God. So then I started building an idea for my book behind that and start, you know, really thinking that the reason I'm right here now during my journey and with the success that I feel like I have is because I've quieted down the outside noise and I've listened to the voice in my head. And I feel like if God is supposed to be in you, then that might be what the voice is, and that's how I came up with the book.
Well, first of all, shout out to you, because I think when you amass so much success like you have, there are a lot of times where, you know, people don't give it all to God. And I think to see and hear you do that, it speaks volumes for, you know, where you are in your faith journey. Can you talk to me a bit about what happens when the voice in your head isn't God? Like when you hear other voices and noise, what's that?
Yeah, so I have a chapter in my book called The Fuck It Voice. I think we all got that fuck it voice. We know something ain't right, and we just do it anyway. We say fuck it. But I guess the way I could tell you that it's not God if it ain't got love in it. You dig what I'm saying? That's kind of how I channel the energy that I have for my book. It's not a religious-based book. It's not like I have chapters from the Bible or anything like that. I think it just deals with discernment and wisdom that you get. I feel like men mature a little bit later than females. So I honestly think like my mom and other females in my family, they already had this superpower, this thing about being intuitive and having intuition.
Yes.
For me and for a lot of men, I think we get that late. And so when I recognize it, I mean, I just listen to this voice doing everything. The way I go home, I'm listening to this voice. What I'm going to put on, I'm listening to this voice. Just everything is just about this voice in my head.
Well, so right now you have, you know, your book coming, and then you have your Red Clay film, which is also very vulnerable, very personal as well.
Yeah.
Why right now get so personal and you know, divulge so much? Like, what is the conversation that you're having with that voice that made 2 Chainz want to open up about so many things in his life?
Well, a lot of the things I think that I went through when I was younger, I'm embarrassed to talk about. I'm embarrassed to revisit. And I look at a lot of the art that I'm putting out now as a form of healing.
Wow,
you know, with Red Clay, my short film deals with the relationship I had with my mom growing up. It's in a festival run right now, so that's why a lot of people can't see it. But when I did the festival in Atlanta, and I had to do like a meet and greet on stage and a Q&A, I'm sorry. When I did my Q&A, I noticed that I had my head down because I had friends in the crowd and I had relatives in the crowd, and I was truly, truly, truly embarrassed. And then when I did another, say the one in Denver or another festival, I was able to keep my head up, my chin out, because there was people in the room that didn't know me, and I felt like I didn't care what their opinion was.
Right.
So a lot of stuff that you're seeing from me, whether it's my short film or my book, is me just peeling some layers back and just trying to heal, on my own, and understanding that, we all got a little work to do.
You've always been a person that people point to and say, you are who you are. You can clap for that. Yes, you can clap for that for sure.
I appreciate y'all.
You've always been a person that people point to and say, what you see is what you get. You're very honest. You're very authentic. You're very true to yourself. But you said you had your head down during that screening, and I can, imagine divulging things for the first time is tough, especially at where you are in your life. But personally, behind the curtain, what was it like having a conversation with your mom after she saw the film? And just even in writing your book, people you talk about in the book and experiences, having those conversations, what was that like for you, and was it traumatizing for you, re-traumatizing?
It was very hard. My mom came to the set the whole week I shot the short film, but she never came inside. So she knew I was shooting a movie, but she didn't really know what it was. She just is a support system. She gonna support whatever.
Right.
I'm an only child. That's where the Titty Boy name came from. It came from me, like, what I'm saying, being up under my mom all the time. So they used to be like, he's just a titty baby. That's how Titty Boy didn't come from me like winning a titty sucking contest, no crazy, no strip club, and then like that. I really was like, I'll be with my
like
mama.
top
My mama be
yeah.
just, we
You
just,
right there with her.
Yeah, so she was there for the support, but then I got a copy of the short film, and she came over to my house, and you can screen it from your phone to the TV.
Yeah.
And for probably about 5 to 6 weeks, I never mentioned that I had the copy back because I didn't know how she was gonna react to it. In a nutshell, I'm gonna hold this together. In a nutshell, oh my God. All right, in a nutshell.
It's okay, take your time.
It's all good.
We here with you. Take your time.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, I don't know if I had to, and I don't want to be judged or whatever, but it was a situation where I had to be the one to sell my own mom drugs. And that's what this Red Clay thing is about. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that I don't never rap about. I don't talk about it when I'm trying to be harder than the next person. I don't talk about it when it's nothing like that. So when I did this film and put this film together as how this all came about, for me having to do this for somebody that I love so much that put me in, you know what I mean?
Right.
It was just a struggle. But when I showed it to her, she's not there anymore. You know what I'm saying? This is old stories.
Yeah.
So when she able to see that, my mama's 75. When she able to see that right now, it's like, I describe it as being on the other side of the mountain. It's like this tall mountain. We have to climb this mountain. But now me and mom, we like on the other side, on the way down. Everything is, So the film, much like the book, is very, very personal. It's something like, I know I have a sense of humor and I smile a lot. And a lot of that was defense mechanisms that got me through high school. It was just like I would smile through pain. That was like my biggest smile, and I'd be hurting the most on the inside. Like any of that, that's how I maneuvered through like high school and then some of my years in college as well.
I'm glad.
Can y'all get the sound right? Because it's like I feel like I'm getting loud.
Yeah, no, I can hear you. Can y'all hear him?
Y'all good?
Yeah, we hear echo up here, but I think it's good out there. But I mean, I think the point that you're arriving at, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but I know in my own spiritual journey, I got to a point where I was okay with dealing with the stuff I was going through because I felt like, but God got me through this, so He'll get me through this, and so now I'm able to talk about it. I can kind of like almost like it's your testimony. So that's what we're witnessing. You're in kind of like your testimony phases of life at this point.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're happy that you're here, that you made it here. Now you mentioned college.
Yeah.
So you mentioned college. So I know you went to Alabama State at one point. Graduated from Virginia State.
Yeah, I graduated. I have a psychology degree. I don't think a lot of people know that.
They don't, and people don't talk to you a lot about that.
So I think I have a rather wide range. I have everything from being locked up at 15, juvenile, for possession of cocaine, and a college degree, and then all the stuff in between there. And so I do feel like I'm qualified to talk about some of everything, you know what I'm saying? Because I've experienced some of everything.
What was your college experience like? Because, okay, so you have this life that we learn in your book and in the Red Clay film. And you guys, there's a QR code you can scan to pre-order the book right behind us, by the way. So you make it through all of these, you know, very tough moments that you just talked about, and then you get to college. Were you first generation college student?
No.
No?
My mom went to school. I found out my dad went to college at his funeral. I'm at his funeral. They like, yeah, he, you know, nigga didn't even tell me that. I just knew, like the army and some prison stuff. But my mom, my aunt, some of my uncles went to school. So, yeah, but I think I went to school, like, if this makes sense, on my own. No one forced me. No one,
Okay.
you know, for a long part. By the time I was in high school, no one was waking me up to go to school. I like going to school. I like dressing, first of all. I like putting on clothes. I like the females. And I was just like naturally smart. I didn't make a C, and I tell this in my book, I didn't make a C until I got to college. I wanted to see how normal people think, you know what I'm saying? I never made a C before my whole life. I went to college, I was like, I made a C. I just wanted to be normal because I ain't never made one, so.
C's get degrees.
Yeah, I was, you know, so anyway, I was able to go through school, earn a scholarship. And then when you get to college, you learn that all you got to do is really go to class and do the work. And I was able to graduate and move on with my life. But yeah, that was another chapter. It's like another chapter in the life of 2 Chainz.
Which is a big chapter because, I mean, I went to HBCU and I talk a lot about like the experience of being on a campus and how like you get so much just from that. Like, don't even think about the classes. The classes are great, but just being on campus, it changes your life. Yeah. How did going to an HBCU, like how did that experience mold you into who we see today, right here?
Well, first of all, I met my wife in college.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I met her. So you see how that goes. That turns out at the end of that story. But I met a lot of my friends there. I was already like a social butterfly. I like to be around people. I like to be around what's going on. And so I think going to a HBCU allowed me to get more indulged in what culture is from different places, because when you go to college, people are from everywhere, not just from local. So I was just like a local joker when I was in College Park, hooping, trapping, or whatever that was. But when I got on the road, went to Alabama, I met people from Chicago, Detroit, New York, you know, LA, Florida, whatever. And I would learn. I remember when my friend from New Orleans, he put me on the Hot Boys and Mystical and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just when a bunch of people from different areas come together like a gumbo, it just makes a unique experience.
You mentioned meeting your wife in college. Love that story. We also watched you propose at the Met Gala and like, you know, all the great things. What was your conversation like with that voice in your head with God when you said, I'm going to propose? I know you guys had already been together for some years, but what was that conversation like with God?
I should have put that in the book.
That's not a chapter in the book.
That's crazy. Okay,
you might need to do a rewrite.
Let me paint the picture.
Okay, paint it.
It's Met Gala. You know, Met Gala, the place like $35,000 a plate, right? So I get invited by Donatella, by Versace, because I'm doing a collaboration with Versace. Me and my homeboy Salehi, we got these shoes called Chain Reactions with Versace. So they invited me and Kesha as a guest for the Met Gala.
Yes.
Let's start there. And so as soon as we get in, they tell us to go to Fifth Ave, and we can spend, I don't know, up to $100,000 at the Versace. So we upstairs, and we drinking wine, and we walking around in Versace robes, and we just fucking the money up.
Yes.
I mean, we fucking the money up.
Yes.
Yeah, you like this? I don't get it anyway. You know what I mean? We just going crazy. So we get it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to think of something I could do that could be historic and last far after me, right? So I go to my jewel. I say, man, you know, I think I'm gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna do it. And so I get the ring. I got it all set up. You know what I'm saying? And so fast forward to when the Met Gala's arriving. They sent a lady from Paris to do Kesha makeup. You done flew somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they wasn't playing about y'all.
You know, you getting the makeup, jewelry, suits. And we get to the Met Gala. Now I'm getting a little nervous, but I'm like, we here now. And I remember they held the Met Gala line up. It was one person in front of me, then they held up the Met Gala line, and then I want to say Rihanna came. So Rihanna came, she took all the spotlight. So I said, maybe this is God telling me to just do this another time, you know? Like, maybe this is not the right time. And so we get out there, and we pose and stuff. And so Kesha looked one way, and I go in my pocket, and the ring won't come out. I'm like, it was in a little box, and the box won't come out this little inside pocket.
So now what God's saying?
So I'm looking crazy. So I'm about to say, fuck it for real now, you know? I'm about to be like, nah, I look crazy. I'm like, it's opening in my pocket. The ring just about to come out. You know, you're supposed to open the box and make it. I'm like, this is a mess. And so, some told me to try again. And then I go in again, it come out. And many years ago, Kesha was with me, many years ago, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I got shot in my ankle, right? And so, when she turned around and I'm on one knee, Kesha is under her breath talking about, baby, you okay? She think she's like, you straight? And then I show her, and then, you know, that's how that happened. But I think altogether the voice in my head told me that that's what I was supposed to do, and I did the right thing.
I love that. Y'all got to clap for that one, okay? Now let's talk a little bit about, because I know you played sports, you played ball in college, but there's a discipline about you too that there has to be some conversations with God and his voice in your head, and your intuition to just know when to lock in and lock down. And I think that's why your career has been so successful, your investments and the things that you're doing. When you're deciding, you know, what discipline looks like for you at different phases of your life. So like dad discipline, real estate discipline, I got to get into booth discipline, and balancing it all. What is that regimen like in conversation like? Because that's a lot of things to be doing at once.
With discipline, I think you have to think ahead. For me, I think with the outcome, like if this could be a good or a bad thing. So obviously, if you're disciplined enough to go to the gym, you know that down the road it's going to be a good outcome. You'll feel better, you know, physically, mentally. If you keep drinking or doing something every day, you know what I mean, or if you get the discipline to say, I'm not going to drink, or whatever. It just, I look at the outcome of what that would be. And so with discipline, with anything that I'm doing, which is every day I'm dealing with that, obviously, right? I'm like, man, if I do this, what would that look like on down the road? So that's what discipline is for me.
When we talk about your businesses, I think, you know, you've diversified your portfolio so much. But one of the things that I admire, I was watching you on Club Shay Shay, and you took Shannon Sharp into one of your pizza spots that you had. Mm-hmm. And the guy, Dave, who runs the pizza spot for you, you were talking about how he goes like the Jersey to get the bread and all the things, and he was so passionate about what he was doing. And then you're in Escobar, and, you know, the people there are passionate too. And I was just thinking, like, man, from music to your businesses that you do outside of music, you've been blessed to work with some of the most passionate people. What's that conversation with your intuition or God when you choose who you do things with, whether it's music, running businesses, like what's that?
So if you don't know, I'll give you some free game. I think it should be collaboration over being competitive. You know what I'm saying? I like collaborating, so take that with you. The second thing I want to tell you is that when you collaborate with someone, so a lot of times when you're the so-called quote-unquote money behind something, people come with you with these different ideas, different motives and stuff. With me, the way that I have been more successful ratio-wise with my businesses is the people that I partner with and collab with, they have been very, very, very passionate in whatever we're about to do. So when you talk about the vegan pizza spot, I got a guy that literally goes way to New Jersey. We're in Atlanta, just about this pizza, and he just, man, if you go in there, he gonna talk your ear off about this vegan pizza and this vegan cheese and this vegan, and so I end up investing in something that he was so passionate in, right? With Escobar, it's the same thing. My partner, Snoop, she actually went to college at like 15, 16. She went to Vanderbilt, hospitality, like at a high level. She's an expert in hospitality. And so a lot of people, they do restaurants and they do it based off their mom's recipe or some local or whatever like this.
Right.
My restaurant was based off me getting with somebody that understood what hospitality was, and and dining experience. It wasn't like we gonna figure out the food and all that. And then with everything that I got, even my strip club, the guy that I own a strip club in Atlanta, he was working at Cheetah's, which is another strip club, for like 15 years. So anytime I partner with somebody, I would like for them just to be passionate. That's all they talk about. That's all they want to do. That's how I think I know I'm putting my money in the right place.
And even like I found out recently, because I know Charlemagne has some Crystal's restaurants. You're the head of
Yeah,
creative
Charlemagne
marketing.
need to give me some credit on that. He don't be saying that.
No, listen, when he told me, he said, 2 Chainz is the head of creative marketing for Crystal's. He's the reason why I franchised the Crystal's. I was like, what doesn't 2 Chainz do well? Like at this point. So even that, amazing partnership. But I know we have to wrap. Guys, make sure you scan the QR code behind us if you want to pre-order the book. But in my final question, the QR code is not working?
Hold on, let's make sure the code is working because it's a good read now. It's a good read. The voice in my head is God. So this is what it is. Let me tell y'all. The name of the book at first was The Voice in Your Head Was God, but then the publisher made me change it because they said that a lot of the buyers would think that it was a religious-based book, which I guess I understand because it has the word God in it. So, but I didn't want to change the word God. So I changed it to The Voice in My Head. So I'm just speaking for me. You might have a wicked voice in your head. You might just be an airhead. You might ain't got shit. But for me, this voice in my head that told me to come up here today looking like this, feeling like this, is the big guy above. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. And they said the QR code is working now, y'all, so try it now.
Make sure the QR code working, man.
Yes,
I'm telling
try
you,
it now. Now, as we wrap, you talked about the voice in your head and, how it got you here, where you are right now. What would you tell any of these young creators, people in the audience who are struggling with really tapping into the voice in their head and listening?
I think we all have heard. This is what it is. Okay, listen, this is another thing. I'm going to give y'all a free game. Has anybody in here said, man, something told me where it is, something told me, don't go here, something told me this. If you think about what something told you was, just find out what that is. Because we all even, some told me, girl, I ain't know I wasn't even coming here tonight. Some told me to come. Whatever that something is, tap into that. So that's what this book is. Find out what that something is. Find out what everybody was telling me. Something told me to come to this. Something told me to come up. Somebody wasn't going to come here today. And then something told you to come here today, and now you run into me. That's what that is. You dig what I'm saying? Now you feel me. That's what it is. I wasn't even going to come up there today. I ran into 2 Chainz. I didn't know he was going to be. Some told me to come. Bam. I done put the game all the way on you. And now you're going to flourish and just be so prominent and be great in everything.
I know that's right. Y'all give it up for 2 Chainz.
True.
The voice in my head is God. It's coming out in March.